Hello and welcome to today's Daily Rift. I'm Stormo. Things are back to normal today after our adventure on the PTR the other day, and I missed a day yesterday for various reasons, mostly to do with not having internet access. So I'm actually recording this video sort of on the day it'll go up, which I don't like to do normally, but unfortunately I don't have a lot of choice today, so that'll happen. And we just hit level 49, so that's really cool. So we're getting there pretty soon. Yeah, it's only going to be maybe, I don't want to presume, but probably maybe 10 more episodes of this and we'll be at level 70, I reckon. So, I could be wrong about that, because leveling slows down a little bit after level 60. So, but we'll see how we go anyway. So, hopefully this will go a bit quicker. Don't have the benefit of the progress orbs yet on live, so can't do that. I've been playing a lot of Torchlight 2, actually. That's what I picked up and played with the Synergy mod, which makes Torchlight 2 a much more interesting and fun game, I reckon, because it just... The original Torchlight 2 is a bit funny in the way it's balanced and the way enemies show up and all that kind of stuff. Synergy's mob just makes it a little bit more fun by adding a whole bunch of additional enemies and a new layer of difficulty above the base game. The downside is that if you play on any difficulty above about normal, it becomes very, very hard. So if you like a more difficult dungeon crawling experience, it's definitely worth checking out. That's Torchlight 2 with Synergy mod. And yeah, it's pretty good. Just as an alternative, something different from the way Diablo does it. I mean, Torchlight and Diablo are basically two variations of the same idea, I suppose. But the fact I've been playing Torchlight 2 is probably why I haven't been using my buttons as much, because most of the builds in that game tend to revolve around mouse buttons, and then you have an action bar that you can basically assign anything to, much more like, say, World of Warcraft's action bar than Diablo 3's. But that doesn't stop it from being a fun game. It's just a different approach. So yeah, that's mostly what I've been playing over the weekend. Good fun. Also been getting back into Elder Scrolls Online, which I play occasionally on and off, and then I realise that I've done something hideously wrong and re-roll my character, and just because of this I've been playing the game for like over a year and never actually made it to the level cap. Well, I've once again got a character that I really like, and I'm really enjoying playing, and I haven't yet discovered why the way I'm playing it is bad, so hopefully that'll work out really well over the next while, I suppose. But I really enjoy it, and of course that game is going not free to play, but buy to play, B2P as they're calling it in the chat channels. Yeah, it's going buy to play, I think pretty much, it may already have on that, and the actual play part of that hasn't come in yet. The Crown store, which is basically its real money store, the equivalent of Guild Wars 2's Gem store, goes online next week. And that will enable players to buy various things using real money, including money that I think is actually convertible to in-game currency too, which is kind of good for Elder Scrolls Online because it is stingy as hell with in-game currency, or at least early on it's stingy as hell with in-game currency. And everything costs so much, so I think that'll help a lot with that game. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've rolled a Nord again, a Nord Nightblade. And I know Nords probably aren't the best choice for Nightblade, especially if you're going dual wield. Nords have the two-hand specialization. They don't have the dual wield specialization. They don't have bow specialization, that's multiple. But the Nord Nightblade, I just like the Nord characters, the Nord lore. I think they're probably my favourite race in the Elder Scrolls universe. The problem is, like, if you play a Bosma, you have to deal with, like, Bosma lore, and Bosmas are freaking crazy. Like, we're talking full-on, these guys will actually eat the other races, type stuff, because, so, basically, I'm not going to presume to know how much people know about Elder Scrolls lore, but the Elder Scrolls universe has really amazing, sort of backstory and lore development behind it, and the way this is presented in the games has always been really clever. It's usually done through books and stuff, but yeah. But anyway, with the Bosma, they have this thing called Green Pact, and the Green Pact basically means that they cannot harm the plants or the trees or the basically vegetation of Valenor, which is the area they live in. And they will not harm it. In fact, they have, like, you know, mystical forest command you type powers. What this means is they exclusively eat meat. And they consider everything that isn't a tree to be meat, that is edible. This includes the other races. So when you become a Bosmer, you basically have to put up with the fact that they're basically crazy meat-eating wood elves. And I'm sure that can be worked into a lot of really interesting RP scenarios, but it also means that they're currently in cahoots with Khajiit, who are the tiger people. You would know what a Khajiit looks like if you've seen any sort of tiger-faced person walking around in an Elder Scrolls screenshot. And the Altmer, who are the High Elves, who are honestly worthy of eating. The High Elves are the most uppity of elves. They're basically all the bad stuff about elves everywhere, rolled into a single race. And the thing to remember with the Elder Scrolls lore is that every race is effectively an elven race, even the actual humans. Well, maybe not the humans, not the Nords, but certainly the Red Guards, not the Red Guards, the Bretons, because Bretons are basically half-elves. Red Guards, I don't think are descended from elves, but I can't remember, and Nords I don't think are descended from elves, but they're descended from something else. But basically everyone else, like the Orcs and all the elf races, the Khajiit, and I think even the Argonians, are all effectively some kind of mix of elf and something else. Like the Argonians, for example, lizard people. But they basically started life as elves and then merged with his. Actually, no, wait, they didn't, did they? Because the Argonians and the Khajiit come from a different background. It's been a long time since I've read those pages on UESP. Anyway, the point is that Bosmer are really freaking crazy, and Altmer aren't any less crazy. In fact, all the elf races are crazy in their own way. Like, if you've played Morrowind, you'd be familiar with the Dark Elves, the Dunmer, who live in that part of the world. So, and they're very uppity and stuck up, but the Altmer make those guys look like relatively egalitarian and stable people. The Altmer are just really crazy, so. But yeah, anyway. What I was getting at was that the Elder Scrolls Online is really fun, and I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I recommend, once it goes buy to play, checking it out, because it is a really fun game. So, speaking of fun games, this has been a fun rift so far. I'm not sure what's going on here, but maybe my lack of, like, using all my abilities properly, because I've been playing Torchlight, I haven't been using all my abilities properly, so I should get back into doing that. That'd be good fun. Or maybe it's just because I'm not used to taking a long time. It's a gem hoarder! Ooh, let's kill the gem hoarder. Die, gem hoarder. He died. And we got a lot of gems that we're not really interested in using, but oh well. Not a lot I can do about that. Man, this is why I don't like this map, because it just goes everywhere without really going anywhere. It's just really, really annoying. So, yeah. Good. Found something to kill. So anyway, Elder Scrolls, I could probably go on about Elder Scrolls lore. I could do like entire video series on aspects of Elder Scrolls lore. But I'm going to actually add an Elder Scrolls tag to this video because I've talked about it so much. Even though we're not playing Elder Scrolls. Maybe I should make some Elder Scrolls Online videos. That'd be pretty cool, actually. Anyway, I have other videos to make first, like the ones I promised for my birthday stuff. So they'll be coming this week. The first one will be coming this week, I promise. I will get around to making it, and it will come up this week. So yeah. So anyway, I was talking about what I've been doing in Elder Scrolls Online. I've rolled a Nord. The Nord's really cool. Nord Nightblade. But the changes with the latest patch, because this is why I've gone back to it, is that 1.6 came out, and 1.6 was a massive patch. We are talking 25 gigabytes in a patch, which is basically a complete overhaul of the game, and that's exactly what ZeniMax have done. They've completely overhauled the main game. it's been completely rebalanced. They've added the justice system, which allows you to like be a thief and stuff like that. You can actually steal stuff, and there are actual in-game consequences for stealing stuff. You can murder NPCs, and there are in-game consequences for murdering NPCs and all that kind of stuff. There's no Dark Brotherhood yet. They've been promising Dark Brotherhood related stuff for a while. Pretty much since the game came out, they've been saying that they would do Dark Brotherhood, but it's not in the game yet. If you don't know, the Dark Brotherhood's basically an Assassin's Guild type thing. And yeah, it's fairly common. All the Elder Scrolls games generally have some form of Dark Brotherhood related storyline. I think because of the time that Elder Scrolls Elder Scrolls Online is set, I'm not sure that Dark Brotherhood's actually that powerful, but maybe this will be the story of how they came to gain their power. Like, they exist, but the thing is, and I'm just going to go, like, Elder Scrolls lore nerd again here. The thing with the Dark Brotherhood is that they formed, I think it's in the mid to late First Era, and the way they form essentially is there's an older Assassin's Guild called the Morag Tong, and the Morag Tong basically has an internal schism, basically about unauthorized killing or something like that. I can't remember the exact details, but anyway, the Dark Brotherhood essentially split off from the Morag Tong, or maybe they split off from the Morag Tong. Nobody quite knows, because it's all a bit shadowy and mysterious, like a lot of Elder Scrolls lore is deliberately intended to be a bit shadowy and mysterious. But yeah, the point is that the Dark Brotherhood are around, but they haven't reached the sort of prominence that you'd be familiar with them in the later games, like in Oblivion or Skyrim or even Morrowind, I guess. Although, I can't remember, did Morrowind actually have a Dark Brotherhood storyline? Surely it did. Because Oblivion and Skyrim both do, and they're both pretty cool storylines. The Skyrim one's actually really interesting, of course, because you can choose to destroy the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim. By the time of Skyrim, the Dark Brotherhood's actually basically faked, in the sense that there's very little of it left. There's like one major sort of outpost of it left, and you're either re-establishing its power in Skyrim, or you're actually destroying it completely. And you can choose to do both of those, and I think it's the only game where they've offered both of those as an option, like destroy the Dark Brotherhood as a legitimate option. And it's a bit odd too, because there's no other choice to do that. And of course, the other thing that makes that a bit odd, of course, is the fact that it means that it's possible to complete Skyrim with an ending that will conflict with established canon. Okay, what have we got? Okay, Razor. But yeah, it means you can complete the game with an ending that probably won't be used in the next mainline Elder Scrolls game, which I'm assuming will be set after Skyrim. Whereas Elder Scrolls Online, of course, is set about 1,000 years before the events of Skyrim, which makes it about 200 years before, 800 years before the events of the other Elder Scrolls games, because Skyrim is set 200 years ahead of those in all three previous games. So everything up to Oblivion, so Arena, Daggerfall, Morrowind, and Oblivion are all set within a few years of each other, whereas Skyrim is set about 200 years later. Anyway, that was this rift. What was I trying to finish a point there? I probably was. So yeah, Elder Scrolls Online is set 1,000 years before that. What have we got here? Barizador Cannon, which is not a great weapon, but it's an upgrade, so we'll go with that. And Rogar's Huge Stone, which is very slightly an upgrade on my Puzzle Ring, but probably a better replacement for that, so I'll go with those. And yeah, this is a rift in which I spent most of it talking about Elder Scrolls. That's a thing that I didn't pick up. But I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.